Before we start the video, I want you to subscribe to the best Telegram channel at the first link in the description, where we show our earnings on cryptocurrencies, and not only, our capital that we manage is more than $3 million. Here you will find only the most useful. Thanks for subscribing. Also in the description is a links to verified exchangers, when you register on which, you get a welcome bonus from me. Let's get to the video. Friends, a jury allowed Elon Musk to manipulate the markets. Ethereum has become a deflationary asset. Apple, Amazon, and Google prevented Bitcoin from going up. Can they continue to do similar things? Let's look into it. Elon Musk wrote on Twitter that wisdom has prevailed, so he commented on the jury's decision in the 2018 Tesla stock price manipulation case. The jury unanimously found Elon not guilty. To convince them of this, the billionaire had to personally appear in court for 3 days in a row. And here's the interesting part. Now, in fact, Musk can do anything. Even tell the Securities and Exchange Commission to go screw themselves. Let's remember history. In 2018, Elon, then just a Twitter user, not a social network owner, started making posts with plans to turn Tesla into a private company, buying all the shares off the market, at a rate above the market. Of course, prices began to rise, especially after it was written that there was secured financing for this deal. But nothing happened next. In terms of buying back shares, Tesla remained a public company and prices flew down. Then this event caused a big stir and the Securities and Exchange Commission punished Musk for manipulating the stock price. They made him resign from the position of Tesla's CEO for several years, and also the rule was introduced that now all tweets concerning companies' stocks must be approved by the regulator. And now, after 4 years, a group of investors filed a class action suit against Elon, claiming that they lost a lot of money on his tweets and needed compensation. For his defense, Musk used a story, I don't know if it's true or fiction, that he really planned to make Tesla a private company and even negotiated with a fund from Saudi Arabia to finance the deal, but something went wrong and it had to be called off. And, that said, he never wrote that the deal would necessarily happen. It's just that the investors got it wrong. And yes, it worked. The jury sided with the billionaire. They were probably the ones who, during these events, didn't lose any money. In fact, now Elon Musk can forget about the regulator and tweet whatever he wants, again, manipulating both stock prices and cryptocurrencies. He's basically been doing it successfully as it is. But now he has a court ruling in his hands, and at any moment he can say that he's been misunderstood again. Who knows? Maybe he's already up to something like that, since he wrote a weird tweet with a joke about cheating. I'll keep an eye on Elon's actions. But cryptocurrencies come first, of course. So next, we'll talk about Ether, which has literally started to disappear. Who wants to keep up with the latest news in a 24/7 format? I'm waiting for you in our Telegram channel. Subscribe at the link below the video. The top 2 cryptocurrency is often criticized for having unlimited issuance, but in fact, since the beginning of the year, the supply of Ether has been shrinking, and this process may accelerate significantly in the future. This is not the first time Ether has become deflationary in its history, but before, such processes lasted a couple of days at most, and then the number of coins in circulation began to grow again. Now, we see steady decline in supply within a month. The reason is the following. First, the burning process itself. Let me remind you that a portion of the transaction fee is now simply destroyed. Since this process was launched, almost 3 million Ether has been destroyed. Second, after Vitalik Buterin and company finally switched the top 2 cryptocurrencies, last year, to the proof-of-stake algorithm, the issuance decreased by itself, due to a different process of charging fees for new blocks. Third, since the 1st of January, we are seeing, albeit still insignificant, but still a recovery of activity in the cryptocurrency market. It also concerns the work with DeFi and the demand for NFT, which together with the price increase by 40% led to an even greater burning of coins. It is expected that in the future, as new Ethereum updates, because even though it has switched to proof of stake, but in terms of transaction prices and processing speed, as if they continue to work on proof of work, there will be changes in the blockchain and even more reduced issuance in the production of new blocks. As a consequence, deflationary processes will Intensify and Ether will get smaller by the day, for now, but Aaron and company have a major Shanghai update coming in March, which is expected to give the function of withdrawal of coins from staking. Preparations for the hard forward are in full swing. It is known that a public test network Capella will be launched on February 7th, which could be the final run-in of the update. Before implementing it on the main network, will the preparations for Shanghai lead to an increase in the price of Ether? We've discussed this recently on the channel and my prediction hasn't changed yet, so I'm moving on to the Bitcoin price, and I'll ask you to support this video with a like if it's interesting to you. I warned you in the last video that Bitcoin is not doing as well as the buying power would like, which is perfectly visible on this chart, and so, despite the bullish signals from the Fed and the steep positivity in the stock market, after Zuckerberg announced a $400 million buyback of Meta stock, the Bitcoin price only briefly managed to rise above $24,000. Why didn't we hold this level? I have warned several times that during the reporting season, there may be unpleasant surprises. After all, the world's leading tech corporations are laying off employees for a reason. As it happens, Apple, Amazon, and Google all reported on the same day Thursday night, and all three were worse than expected. So while the Fed is promising us to beat inflation without a recession in the U.S. economy, global corporations have already gotten serious business problems because of the actions of the regulator. Of course, this news crushed the stock market on Friday, which also affected the price of Bitcoin, because of the correlation between the assets, and to finally take away the hope of the buyers, strong U.S. labor market data was also released. Local unemployment continues to fall. You would think, where are the unemployed Americans and where is the Bitcoin price? But you can see the market reaction to this statistic. What happens is, Bitcoin trades 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So it is the first to react to changes. The ears of this decrease also come from Jerome Powell's press conference, which he gave after the Fed meeting on February 1st. He noted that it would be very difficult to stop inflation without a cooling labor market. In fact, this means that by worsening conditions for business, by raising the rate, the Fed is pushing the country's unemployment rate up, so that Americans will make less money and therefore spend less. In this way, they want to stifle demand, without which there can be no increase in prices, i.e., inflation. But, while their efforts are not yielding the desired result, in addition to lower unemployment, wage growth is also being recorded. This is a signal to the financial markets that the Fed can conduct even tighter monetary policy, because the cause of inflation is still unresolved and there are risks of it reversing back to growth early next week. It is important to keep an eye on whether the bad reports from Google and Apple and a strong labor market will be enough to turn the stock market, at least to a local correction, to 4,000 points. If that happens, then, given the weak buyer in Bitcoin, the most likely scenario would be a similar local correction, to the $21,000 area, or maybe even lower. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss new videos. Thanks for watching, your Cryptanic.